If you're thinking about relocating to the Wilmington, North Carolina area, stop. There are 7 things you have to consider, 7 critical things you have to consider before even looking at a house here. Most people get this wrong and it costs them time, money, and regret. You might love the beach, but you hate the traffic. You might love the area, but realize that you're 40 minutes away from the things that you truly love and enjoy. Wilmington, Leland, Hampstead, they all offer very different lifestyles. So before you move, you need a plan. And I'm going to walk you through the exact questions you need to ask yourself before you consider making a move here. Trust me, one of these things will completely change how you make your decision. So let's get into it. This isn't some fluffy, which beach is best to visit type of thing. No, this is real hard data about what's going to affect your lifestyle, your wallet, and your ultimate decision on where you want to relocate. So I get a lot of folks from outside of the area that watch my videos and call me. And the number one thing I ask them is, what are you going to do when you're not at the house? Because that is such a driver for where you're going to choose to live. So the number one thing is basically, what is your daily flow? At the end of the day, when you're done living at the house, what do you want to do? Do you want to have a walkability situation to go to restaurants, bars, nightclubs? Do you want to be left alone in the middle of nowhere? Do you want to be able to walk to the beach? All of these things factor into the decision as to where you want to be. Do schools make a difference in your decision as to where you want to be or not? So that leads me to number 2. Don't just pick a zip code, pick a vibe. Because again, Leland, Hampstead, and Wilmington proper all are very different with what they have to offer in their vibes and their lifestyles. You may want an area that's got flavor. It's got beachy vibes. It's got a laid back lifestyle. All of these things are elements that you need to consider on the move. Do you want to be around retirees, folks that are kind of winding down, taking it easy? Do you want lower taxes? All of these things just factor into your decision of not just where, but the vibe. What is your lifestyle like? What do you want to experience when you move here? Why are you banging on things? Number 3. Traffic. Nobody likes to sit in traffic on their way to the beach. Let's be real. But here's the deal. If you're crossing a bridge to go run your errands, then that can be a real impact on your daily routine. For example, coming from Leland going to Wilmington or vice versa, there are 2 bridges that cross over the Cape Fear River that go from Leland to Wilmington. Do you want to sit in that traffic during rush hour? Yes or no? These are little things that you need to consider. Number 4. Flood zones. A lot of folks moving from outside of the area to here ask me about flood zones. They ask me about, I don't want to be in a flood zone. This is a case-by-case basis overall, but you surely know if I'm going to be right on the intracoastal, if I'm going to be right on the beach, that you're probably going to be in a flood zone. So these are things to consider. Do you want to have that impact to your monthly cost because you're going to have flood insurance? What is the impact? What is the level of the flood zone? Is it a VE, an AE? We're getting super hyper specific. I don't need to go down that rabbit hole right now, but there are different levels of flood, different levels of insurance associated with that flood, right? That's a big thing. So folks moving from the mountains are like, well, I don't want to be in a flood zone. Great, I understand that. First of all, everything is in a flood zone here. Let's just get that out of the way. It's just whether or not you need to actually have insurance for flood or not. And each one of these areas, Wilmington, Leland, Hampstead, they have different levels, different areas that are in or not in flood zones. It's crazy down here because you may be out of a flood zone and your neighbor 15 feet over is in a flood zone. So again, it's a case-by-case basis, but is that something that's important to you? Yes or no, right? We're talking about the basics of you making a plan as to where you want to be. What is important to you? When you're not at home, what do you want to do? Do you want to sit in traffic? Do you want to be in a flood zone? Is that an issue? So number 5, HOA. To HOA or not HOA? This area as a whole is relatively new. We're growing at an exponential rate. We're rated over and over and over and over one of the top places to relocate to. And it's because of the taxes, it's because of the weather, dude, it's because of the ocean. Like, it's beautiful here, this is why I love it here. But to HOA or not to HOA? It's a big question. You're gonna find that most of the communities, especially the newer communities here, have an HOA. Am I for them or against them? Overall, I'm probably for them. because they hold a standard to the community so that your neighbor's not painting their house a fluorescent pink, a neon yellow, right? So those are good things. It's when they get super stringent. Maybe you're somebody that wants to have a super stringent HOA. Everybody's mailbox needs to be the same. Nobody can leave their car out overnight, that type of thing. That's fine. But for the most part, you're going to find that most of the communities here have an HOA, but we can navigate all of that fairly easily with what it is that you want. How much restriction do you want? And that's something that, like, you just let us know. We can do a specific search for you on that HOA and whether or not it will fit your needs. Number 6, if you're considering relocating here to Wilmington, North Carolina, the general area. And by that, again, I'm speaking about Leland, Hampstead, Wilmington. What is going on around you? What is growing around you? So if you're buying a property and right next to you, you're gonna have a 75 house community being built, does that impact you, yes or no? Do you wanna be in an established area? These are things to consider. When we moved here, we were looking at new construction communities and we were looking at established communities. And for us, in our personal journey, the established communities had the landscaping and the kind of vibe that we wanted, but the new construction communities offered the housing that we wanted. So we had to make a decision based on that. So what's important to you there, ultimately? And number 7, we're on number 7. Thinking about the future. Are you gonna be here for 3 years? 5 years, 10 years? What's your ultimate goal? Purchasing something that you're going to sell in 5 years down the road, that should be a consideration. If you're going to stay here for 10 or more years, it may not have as much of an impact. Are you going to stay here for 5 years and then move on? Is it a rentable situation? So all of these little tiny details should come into effect with you and your ultimate decision on where you want to be, where you want to locate, yes or no HOA, what's the vibe? What's the lifestyle you want? How long are you going to be here for? So those are the top 7. And I have developed this list from all of you folks asking me questions on my videos over time. And I thought, let's just address this. So if you're thinking about making a relocation move to Wilmington, North Carolina, or the surrounding area, feel free to please reach out and ask me these questions. I will help guide you every step of the way to make the best decision possible so your move ultimately hits home. Should I wrap it up? As always, I appreciate each and every one of you for watching. Until next time, peace. So there are 2 bridges leading to Wilmington and Leland. There are 2 bridges that lead from Leland to So if I was a movie star, I'd be Ryan Reynolds. My phone is dead. My phone is dead.